Hello everyone. For this demonstration, we are going to talk about fire safety, and more specifically, fire safety in large factories or like flour mills, for one in particular example, sawmills, stuff like that, where there are lots of dust or particleized things in the air. For this demonstration, we're going to use cornstarch. Because it is so fine, it's almost particleized. There are other things we can use for this, baby powder, for example. But we'll use this for now, and we might try that later. To begin with, what I want to show you is that cornstarch in itself is not extremely flammable. If I just take a chunk of it and I put it in the flame, it's not going to burst into flame. I mean, you see it a little bit on the edge. It is a little bit on fire, but for the most part, it's not going to really burst into flame. So, put that over there. Okay. Anyway, so there's that example. But what it's really missing is oxygen. The outside layer of it is exposed to air, so it has a little bit of oxygen, but everything else is just so packed in tight, because they are so particleized that air can't even get underneath it or inside of it. So the fire, it doesn't go very deep. So what we need to do is surround it with air and expose it to that oxygen so that it can start on fire. So what we're going to use is this little hose, and I'm going to put a little bit of cornstarch in this hose. Safety first. And I'm going to blow it towards the flame. Now, blowing it towards the flame is going to give it oxygen, because it'll be almost like a powder, or not powder, a dust, and spread out that way. So let's go ahead and try it out. So you can see right there that it really had a large flame right there, compared to when we just had a little scoop of it. Now, I used the same amount, but I got a much bigger effect the second time. And that's because it was like dust. It was like a powder surrounded by air versus just a powder on the spoon. So what this could relate to is at the Mill City Museum, one of the stories that they told us when we went there my first year teaching, for the 6th grade trip, is they had a big fire, and they were very, very concerned about fire because of all of the flour dust in the air. So even a small spark or a small flame could ignite it all, because it was surrounded by oxygen, and it was something that was slightly flammable. So it's very, very easy for it to kind of catch fire and spread very quickly. So this demonstration is kind of cool that way, and it shows how maybe even sawmills, or if you have a very dusty house or apartment, that things can happen, you know? Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this demonstration, and maybe learned something too. Thanks for watching. Okay. All right. Is that it's so applicable to real life situations. Come on, Belle. All right. For this demonstration, hello everyone. Demonstrate that here. At the Mill City Museum. It's in St. Paul, I think? Minneapolis? St. Paul? In that area, in the cities of Minnesota.